Very happy to be here. I'm Jyoti Sharma. I'm part of network planning at Verizon, and my role and responsibility is defining overall connected and autonomous vehicle technology strategy. So for V2X. And my team is extensively working on defining trials, proof of concepts with other ecosystem partners, as well as we are members of 5GA, and I'm an alternate board member on 5G Automotive Association. Before we get into the use cases, I want to talk about the massive transformation that the transportation vertical is going through right now. The future is going to be connected. The future of transportation is going to be autonomous. It's going to be electric, and it's going to be shared. So that sector is going through a massive digital transformation. And at the same time, we are launching the 5th generation of cellular communication standards based on 3GPP. And not only that, there are many other technologies that are coming into play right now, which includes multi-access edge computing, as well as hyper-precise location services and CV2X. Some of these technologies will be key enablers for transportation vertical to achieve their goals. They are looking to deploy their vehicles of tomorrow that are safer, that are greener, and that are efficient. And we are, with our technologies, helping them to achieve those. So I'll talk about a few use cases in each of those categories. Safety is one of the biggest things that most of the DOTs or Department of Transportations have talked about Vision Zero, zero fatalities on the road. So there are a lot of safety use cases, and more recently we demonstrated a pedestrian safety use case at Virginia with Virginia VTTI and Virginia DOT, and with our other ecosystem partners, which is providing alerts to the vehicles if there is a pedestrian in the path, and also providing alerts to the pedestrians if there is a vehicle approaching. So that is a really good safety example where you want to make roads safer for both the vehicles and for the pedestrians. Majority of the accidents that happen today, they are related to either pedestrians or bicyclists. So preventing those accidents using technologies such as 5G, edge computing, MEC, and hyper-precise centimeter level accuracy is what we demonstrated very recently on Verizon's commercial 5G and commercial MEC in partnership with our other ecosystem players on Virginia roads. So that is one of the use cases that's about safety. There are traffic efficiency use cases too. And I'll give you an example of an emergency vehicle, for example, is approaching. Most of the times we as drivers, we don't know what to do, where to go when an emergency vehicle is approaching. But just imagine a scenario where you're driving and an emergency vehicle is approaching, but you get that alert way ahead of time that there's an emergency vehicle approaching and you should give way to that vehicle. So just making that traffic more efficient, or even making our commutes easier, and you get green light throughout your commute from home to work. As we are all returning back from the pandemic, we are not used to those traffic jams and commutes. Just imagine this technology could make your commute easier. So these are use cases that are very tangible that the automakers are testing today. And also the state officials of the Department of Transportation is testing on live networks and on real roads. These are just a few use cases. There are 5GA has defined 200 plus use cases where both the MNOs and the automakers have jointly worked in defining those use cases and the requirements for those use cases. And we've really down selected a few of them that are specifically suitable for 5G, MEC, and other technologies like V2X. There are many vehicles today on the road that are equipped with 4G LTE, and you're absolutely right. We are deploying many of these use cases with 4G, and 4G is not going anywhere. Yes. 4G is going to stay here, and we always ensure with our cellular technologies that we are backwards compatible and we are forward compatible. Where 5G really shines is not just with data rates, but 5G has many other capabilities. In particular, within Verizon, we call it 8 currencies of 5G. So it just not only just provides high data rates, it provides lower latency, it provides higher reliability, higher throughput. And with 5G, we're deploying 5G on a mid-band spectrum that's going to provide coverage, capacity, and all that that 5G has to offer. So 5G provides much more new capabilities. So in a layman term, if I have to describe, when you're looking at use case scenarios like this vulnerable root user use case, we were streaming video of the pedestrian over the 5G uplink to the MEC and then back, alerts back. So imagine you've got hundreds of thousands of vehicles on the road and they're sending this massive amount of data or videos to the network. You need that bandwidth, you need that capacity that 5G offers, and these are critical, mission critical scenarios. You need that ultra low latency. And so it's no coincidence that we are deploying these use cases leveraging 5G and MEC, because the requirements of these use cases from these networks are very tight and they're very stringent, and that those requirements cannot be met by a 4G LTE network. And that's why we need the 5G networks for some of these advanced use cases. It's a very challenging new kind of vertical that we're dealing with. This is not like just downstreaming Netflix movies, but this is real mission critical vertical that we are working with. So there are definitely many use cases. The number one challenge is to really shortlist to those top use cases which will make an impact in the near term, and then deploying those use cases in a public network, in a commercial deployment. So there's one aspect of technical challenges, which I think in the past 3 to 4 years, we have solved most of the technical challenges, and we are getting our networks ready for those technical requirements and challenges. But I think the bigger challenges comes from actual commercial deployment of these use cases. And also another bigger challenge comes from deploying it at scale. When you think of all the vehicles on the road, and the prediction is by 2030, 96% of the cars on the road will be connected to 5G. And they will be streaming all this large amount of data. So how do you scale this technology? Those are the bigger challenges than the technical. I have no doubt with all the technical expertise we have within Verizon and with our partners, we're able to solve those technical challenges. But it's the commercialization, it's the scale and the regulations that will play a bigger role.